The two big Group 1 races at Newmarket this weekend are the Juvenile Test, the Middle Park Stakes and the Dewhurst. I've been joined by racecourse reporter Bruce Jackson, who's going to run his eye over both races at the 5-day stage. Bruce, we'll start with the Dewhurst Stakes. There's 16 left in this. Aidan O'Brien has 6 of them. Any of his catch the eye?
Isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it? We've got the sort of Dewhurst in the Middle Park, same day. So, like, you know, what absolute, you know, sort of racing for change. I can't get my head around. I've got sort of cross-eyed double vision already having these two on the same day. And of course, there's 4 of them that have been put in both, which is a worry. I mean, Power, who obviously will probably be anti-post favourite for Aidan O'Brien, having won the National Stakes last time and having won at Royal Ascot, you know, done nothing wrong this year. Obviously, is Aidan's number 1 2-year-old as it stands. He's obviously left others in, but again, I think sort of the vibes are, I think he'll go for the Dewhurst, and I think he's the one they've all got to beat. But the one I like is Ectiham of Roger Varian's. Roger, great Group 1, first Group 1 in France on Arc Day, stepping up to the plate strongly. And this Ectiham, I know when that first won, that I had a good look at him in the paddock. He's a lovely, big, scopy horse. The worry is, even after 2 wins, whether he's going to quite have the battle hardness for Power, who's obviously run so many times this season and is, you know, more of the finished article than Ectiham. But I think the likely price is that Ectiham probably is the one I'd want to be on.
It's a massive step up in class. I mean, he won a 7 furlong condition stakes at Doncaster, I think it was last time, didn't he? Hasn't really had the sort of the racecourse experience either as Power, as you mentioned earlier, but you think he's up to this?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Roger's willing to sort of throw him in sort of gets my vote as being, you know, sort of like he's ready to do the job. But as you say, like Power is the sort of battle-hardened one, got the form in the book. I think he's had a couple of hard races, and, you know, this time of year, although the ground won't be sort of like on the easy side, which would tear them apart a bit more, you know, you do worry after a long season just when, you know, when it will be one race too many. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a 2-horse race. I mean, I'd give a very good word to Red Duke of John Quinn's, that he's always talked as, you know, he's, you know, early in the season he worked with older horses were needed to do his work, which for a 2-year-old is always a great sign of, like, you know, a bit of class about him. And he's always spoken of it in classy terms and being a 2,000 guineas horse for next year. So this will be his, you know, his big moment.
You think he can reverse form with Trumpet Major then, do you, for the last run?
Yeah, that was a bit of a messy race, wasn't it? Again, I don't, you know, the sort of the form of that race, I think is debatable, and I think Red Duke was coming back off a little bit of a sort of break and everything. So yeah, I was willing to forgive him that.
It's Trumpet Major and Richard Hughes out in front and racing to the line. Trumpet Major wins the Champagne.
I hope Sir Aidan sends possibly the Royal Lodge winner again, so like Daddy Longlegs back over.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, was the worst Royal Lodge I've seen in years. Sort of, I just couldn't believe how bad a race that was. I wanted to take on all of those again. Sort of. So if any of those turn up again, I'd want to be taking them on for places as well in the race.
Okay, but it's Ectiham at this early stage. We think about what, 3s, 4s, something like that. Or is that a bit
yeah,
generous?
I think 5 to 2 probably. You know,
Right.
I would take him at about that price, depending what price they put Power in at.
Yeah.
I mean, Parish Hall of Jim Bolger's in there, and Jim's won the race 3 times. That'll be making the market for you as well. I couldn't have him. So yeah, so hopefully around about the 5 to 2, 3 to mark. Yeah.
Okay, and half an hour earlier, on Saturday, we'll have the Middle Park, 18 in this one as well. Obviously, with the 4 crossovers, not entirely certain who's going to go for what, but you've got the likes of Casper Netcher in this.
Yeah, I mean, the
Bapak Chintra as well.
On paper, like a really good renewal of this Middle Park. You know, obviously the furlong shorter over 6. You got the Jim Crack winner, Casper Netcher, in there. Yeah. The one that I really like is Family One. The French haven't won it for donkey's years. Only the great André Faber has won it a couple of times with Zeiton and Lysius in the 90s. They haven't sent too many over, to be fair. But this Family One won the Papin really nicely, and then took on Sunday's winner, the Legagere winner, really ran very well. Was the hare to the hound that day. So it does like to sort of, it's got plenty of pace, and I know the trainer Jan Berbero really thinks highly of this horse, and I think, yeah, with what happened on Sunday, the form's got a huge boost, and I think sort of Newmarket will be right up Family One Street. I think he can bowl along, and I think he can probably beat the whole lot of them. So I think, you know, to me that's one of the strongest races of the year. The horse I think that was third, So Fast, has come out and run well since as well. At Group 1 level, I mean it's rock solid Group 1 form.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if Bapak Cinta does reappear. I think he was on target for the Nunthorpe, wasn't he, until he was injured? And
yeah,
so
I mean he was on my shortlist for the Nunthorpe. Just knocked himself. It wasn't anything sort of major. And I know sort of Kevin just said like he'll be back in work, but by the weekend. And yeah, sort of like he's done nothing wrong in 2 runs. I backed him at Ascot, got a lovely huge price because they were worried about the sort of softening ground going against him because they think he's a fast ground lad. So sort of come Saturday, as long as the rains haven't come at Newmarket, it is the fast ground. He's in there to be shot at, and I mean Kevin won the race, didn't he? Was it a few years ago with Amadeus Wolf? So he knows the time, he knows what's needed to win the race. Yeah, and he's a lovely grade, done nothing wrong. Again, I think got to step up again and might be a bit rusty after the time off. But yeah, he's certainly in the mix.
And Bapak Cinta, always in the firing line, will win the Norfolk for Philip Makin and Kevin Ryan. Boomerang Bob.
I mean, Rebellious Guest of George Margison's. I mean, I like that a lot. I mean, he says George said like he ran in the Coventry and got well beat, but he said that came too quickly after the Windsor Maiden that he'd won really well. Went back to Windsor again after that, showed his true colours again, obviously in a lower grade. Again, the worry with him is that he wants a bit of cut in the ground, I think, to be seen at his best. So he's again sort of stepping up in class to the Group 1 plate. One to watch out for next year, I think, rather more than Saturday. I think Family One will prove very hard to beat and to head.
Right, good.